Hello my cabbages and welcome back to another mapping video. Today we're doing another WICSO episode. So this is episode 4. After, the Orange Team War. After this Orange Team War, they kind of come as a defeated nation. I put it together, was it trade routes, because I kind of wasn't thinking about them being a defeated nation right there. So actually, I think that they would have been completely cut off. Nope. Oh, layer. Oh, such a classic. There we go. They're kind of like that. So they got a trade route going from the dark red team to the lavender team. Because the lavender team did fight in the war and kind of not the most allied with these two, but it's also not traded as much as a defeated nation because orange team was doing some atrocious shit, kind of. And then we have the line kind of loop here where it goes to this new country, the indigo country, the purple country, and the red country. So yeah, I was thinking we could have something there, but I don't know. So these are basically trade routes. I think when we introduce more trade routes, thick lines could be more important trade routes, but right now none of the trade routes are really that important, so there's just a bunch of thin lines. Yeah, this country and the orange team. Yellow team and the orange team are completely sent out of this trade route area because yellow team too far away and orange team kind of defeated the nation. And then for religion map, we see this map. Most of the religions aren't exactly on the borders, but this is exactly on the borders. Because actually, I think this would happen slower, but slowly over time, this dark orange area becomes more and more nationalistic. But that's not going to have any implications yet. Keyword, yet. Because there is going to be some implications. Woo. But yeah, so we have that part, and then we also got, far away places. The blue team still believe in the polytheism, not the animism. Kind of tensions there, not the best for the blue team. We got the whole, lavender religion still reaching there, purple team religion, red team religion, it's pretty similar to what happened before. There's still a little bit of red religion stronghold here randomly, and a bit of orange team, because these areas are still orange beliefs, but not in the orange team, so they're not hyper orange beliefs. But yeah, so that's basically what's happening. Because, I would say this is not going to be as consequential as an episode, but no, definitely not, but especially for the last episode. But speaking of the blue team, they decide to expand after winning that last war. They feel pretty juiced up. They're like, yeah, blue nation. It's integration to the nation. I still don't get why some of the rivers are marked, like this part of the Amazon River, but also not all parts, and some rivers like the Mississippi, if you go up north, are just completely unmarked. But hey, yeah. So blue team massively expanding. Beam all the way up to this lake down here. But yeah, no, they're got some pretty big expansiones here because they're feeling pretty juiced up from that war. I also feel because it's too close, we go a bit I never like when the gray parts are touching the actual countries. So there we go. Yeah, good enough. So, blue team not looking the most stable. A little overexpansion. That's for later. The gold team up here decides to explore more of this coastline of, northern Brazil, basically. Of course, they don't call it Brazil because, alternate history, guys. Are you keeping up with the premise? Have you not watched? I would say the first 3 episodes was technically 3.5 really, because we got the Halloween half episode, which is really fun to make with the voice changer. But yeah. And the dark red team also decides to expand, but of course both of them expand a lot less recklessly than the blue team, so good for them. Boom. Slow expansion because they don't have much else to do. Honestly, the dark red team, kind of being a warmongering nation right now, they have kind of the more neutral powers in right now, so they're not really as warmongering. Haven't been for a while. Purple team decides to do a little bit of expansion. Also, this land isn't as valuable, just being kind of jungly land. You know. Boom. And the orange team kind of like, they have heavy sanctions on them, so they want to expand, but they can't really. So they're more of going inwards politically wise. But let's do our Mexico check, because if you don't remember, we got Mexico. These nations honestly are looking pretty big already. So green team once rebelling again. Let's just say the green team leader's been hanging on for a while. The dark green team leader, but basically in their nation they have like idea of like, instead of like the German nations, because in Germany like Charlemagne owned like a big area, so he basically, I mean, he sent to his one son, Louis the Pious, because he only had one surviving son. But then after that, Louis the Pious split it up like 3 ways into like 3 different kingdoms, west, middle, and east, which later turned into France, Italy, and Germany. So, a little history lesson, I guess. But basically, that's kind of what they're doing. And this first Mexican ruler, I mean, maybe he had 1 child already, but probably 1 child already. But then they, at this rate, but then, you know, all the children need to split up the nation, because, you know, that's just how it works. So we get Western nation over here, and we got Brown nation over here. And you might be wondering about this nation, because they kind of came back. They're kind of like, I mean, both these areas are kind of like kingdom aristocracies, where it's like, they're not quite, the aristocracy basically means the rich people rule, but like they have kings, but the aristocracies are powerful. So it's kind of like Italy, not the most functional, but this country's a bit more forward. This is more kingdom focused, but they also have the rule of, because they came from the same country, that, you know, the king splits on death, so usually the eldest child gets the center region, so they leave the middle child with the middle regions here. So it's not the best for long-term expansion, because they kind of split up a bunch, but I don't know. But yeah, we got, and then, whoop. So yeah, we got the middle child, and then, yeah, so this is probably middle child, or not middle child, damn, not middle child, yeah, eldest child, middle child, youngest child being shuffled, and eldest child, and then youngest child, because they only had 2 children. So yeah, it's gonna be fun for later, but, you know, at least this time it's not violent rebellion, even though they're probably gonna engage in conflict later, because that's just kind of how it's gonna go. Yeah, I'm just like, well, foreshadowing. So, basically, I didn't even realize it's not intentional, but it's probably gonna turn up like Great Britain from Ada's series. Whoops. But, yeah. So, speaking of rebellions, yeah, I'm just gonna have the capital right now. There is, over here, you see actually, not completely over there. This area are both kind of animus. Should I have them both on the same? Should I want them to be? Because, I mean, they're kind of far away, but nah, I'm gonna do the funny part. Funny by meaning not good looking. So basically, if you couldn't tell already, which I would be surprised if you couldn't, we have a light blue rebellion, which kind of encompasses like this area, that right? So this one probably goes a bit farther. So yeah, bam, 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 bam. And these little islands. Okay, so yeah, we kind of have a capital over here, and these like rebellions. The blue team's like, rebelling. And, like, even though this is probably, like, half their land, like, it's quite a bit of land, but it's also, like, just not that many people, because not as many people lived out here. But they kind of, like, and they're kind of fighting. And the red team and the blue team, although they're not as kind of against each other, but they still don't really like each other. So the light blue team is like, hey, red team, can you help us? We share the same religion. Kind of using like the religion proxy points, because these ones are both general polytheists. They don't have any god they particularly love, which is definitely interesting, because they got like, they love all. So the red team, you know, seeing their chance, let's just say, honestly, probably, it's not like exactly like, new rulers probably not super war monitoring, but they're definitely they're kind of like a sentiment of wanting to show the glory of the red team, because they were once a lot bigger and encompassed like, ooh. So they do a naval landing from here and get a pretty big push, because the blue team honestly wasn't really expecting for the red team to, I mean, not really betray them, but like, you know, kind of attack them. So going back to the feral first stages of the island, all at war. So the blue team's like, whoa. So the blue team kind of goes over here and basically, with their superior power, because they're so a bit stronger, they kick them out. But then the purple team, kind of seizing the opportunity, goes like, ooh, the purple team's also not super, they're kind of always not the best terms, you know, multi-island wars. So they're kind of like, ooh, I mean, even though technically they do have the same religion now, or, you know, of animism, they still, like, it's just like, just because two nations are Christian doesn't mean they won't fight each other. So, I don't know. But yeah, so that's like, whoa, kind of unexpected. So they try and fight back, a bit more trouble, because it's going slow for the army, and the army doesn't have the best morale, to be honest. Lion morale. But yeah, but while this is happening, it worked the perfect size for the light blue team, because they're like, we can get our land back and even try connecting up these two nations so they can kind of resupply better, because this area was definitely a lot weaker. So now that they got the supplies kind of interchanging in between them, they get to push this front out. Going pretty well, because a lot of the soldiers kind of left. This is honestly a kind of running theme for the blue team, where they kind of don't realize and like not good at splitting their soldiers, but they kind of start splitting their soldiers now. Take slow push back, but like I said, slow push, because, you know, they can't. Three front wars are really hard to win, and they kind of go. The purple team kind of goes back. Red team tries another naval landing, this time smaller, but honestly it doesn't really work. I mean, no, actually, but they're kind of distracted, it half works. But then the red team, they didn't really like this enclave, because it's kind of different religion right next to the capital, so they kind of find it threatening. So while they're kind of at war with the purple team, they decide to take it pretty easily, because it was kind of cut off. Like, they had a bit of their own military, but all the red team's military is, you know, it's hard to really withstand that. And the purple team's like, whoa, what the heck, dude? I thought we were supposed both like united and fighting against the fighting against the blue team. Oh damn, fighting against the blue team right now. Like, we're going, well, let's just say that they're winning against the blue team. But so the purple team's kind of pissed, and they're like, whoa. Hey. So the purple team actually being a lot stronger than the red team kind of realized. I mean, they've been winning against the blue team, even though they didn't have their full army might, still winning. They're kind of like spearheading towards their capital, and like, whoa. And the red team tries to do the good old cutoff, which they did before. That's kind of how the enclave was created. And it kind of works. Yeah, that's like a perfect circle. But the purple team military, they had a big military here. So actually, they keep on expanding until they basically remake the enclave, but actually even bigger now, so. And the purple team briefly does like multiple resupply points. So they got like, now they're creating red team enclaves. So they got like a spider web set up there, and the red team starts pushing back again. But then, as the blue team was doing this, you know, the blue team kind of... Actually, the red team, surprisingly smart here, does keep their naval presence, and does keep their presence here. So, they got this... Yeah, the only nation on this island that's not fighting is this blue team, because they kind of, the indigo team, because they kind of have nothing to do with this. They're actually vaguely supporting for the red team, because the red team's their favorite nation out of all of them. So, they're definitely got trade and all that going on, but the blue team decides to kind of jump the purple team from the behind. So there's like this whole thing happening, and blue team also kind of not being best with the military. It's probably got 50% of the military here. They're 10% of the military here. They don't really care about this as much. Meaning like 20% over here, and the remaining 20% just protecting the country because you know, civil unrest. So they kind of like slowly chip away at here. Keyword slowly, because, well, they're not, you know, using as much military force, and if they use more military force, they could go way faster, but they're kind of preoccupied, if you couldn't tell. So they go slow chip away the rebels. So it's like slowly losing for the rebels, but not dire straits, definitely not. But lavender team, being, you know, the lavender team, they fought wars with the blue team and the purple team, actually. So actually they kind of fought wars with both sides, but no, it's not really both sides, because there's really three sides right now. We got the red side, which also includes the light blue team. We got the blue side, and then we got the purple side. So actually the lavender team both hates the blue side and the purple side, so if in turn they're actually on the red side. So the red team, so they decide to join the war, and actually the red side is actually looking slowly more strong, because at first, like, yeah, they take this port because they kind of get a speed blitz, but like at first the red side wasn't looking super well, but now like all the teams joining the red side, it's like, can the red side be stopped now? Because it's like, ooh, because they're kind of starting to get exhausted from the war, and the red team kind of does a little bit tries to cut off the cables and like disconnect them again, which they do successfully, but also it's kind of like it's just not working, and like the purple team is like, and the red team's like, please, so they're kind of like, yeah, and the purple team decides to start thickening this up, and the red team can't really do anything about it. So eventually the red team surrenders against the purple team, but not against the blue team, because they are actually surprisingly kind of pushing over here, pushing inwards, till the blue team's like, hey, stop. Okay, so the red team actually eventually gets out of the war after the like blue team kind of takebacks, but so they have actually, red team's completely out of this war. Looking better on some fronts, but also worse on others. But the lavender team and the light blue team are still in the war, even though they're probably some of the weaker nations. I mean, actually, this nation's probably the weakest, but I mean, in this area, because the Mexican nations are also kind of weak. But yeah, light blue team's big and the lavender team's big, but with fighting against the blue team, they kind of actually, now the lavender team's like, and the light blue team are semi on the purple team side, because if the purple team distracts them, then they can help, because the blue team, they're kind of putting in a stalemate, but now that they have more army here, they're actually starting to win again. So they got like, they're breaking the stalemate, and the blue team tries to like, but then the purple team is like, nah bro, I'd win. And actually they're starting to win, and even with them achieving slow victories over here and starting to take back some of this lavender land, they realize, oh, we need to focus. Like, yeah, we're winning here, which is good, but we need to focus more on this front because we're kind of losing here. So they start pushing back. It's working, but also at that, Lavender team knew that they wanted the purple team as a distraction, so they're actually saving most of their army for the time where the blue team kind of left them alone. So they kind of take that area, and they also agreed to a temporary ceasefire with the purple team because they're kind of like, hey, if you so they have a temporary allyship, even though the Lavender team does want the purple team to win. They're kind of on the same side right now, so because the purple team also sees like, oh yeah, they kind of see the benefit in each other, so they kind of start taking back land with all their soldiers again. And then the blue team's like, whoa, and it's like, oh, okay, and then eventually he's like, okay, we can have peace, and the blue team is kind of forced into a peace deal. Honestly, it's not much of a peace deal, because, I mean, we had the orange team peace deal, which actually did something, but most of the peace deals are just like, we took this land, we keep this land, basically. So, yeah, this new light blue nation is looking pretty big, even though it doesn't have that much population. Lavender nation's definitely better off. Red team, the exclave area kind of got bigger, but also they got this, this actually is probably pretty valuable port area because it's kind of protected by the island, so it's good for shipping out. And so yeah, and then also the purple team, they got this taken back, but also they kind of got this land and also got better land in the blue team. So yeah, blue team not looking good. They got massive rebellion. Lavender team took even more land than they originally had, and the purple team took land from them, and the red team also. So blue team really not looking good. Whew. Even though they do still have a decent amount of population, because most of their population is in this small island and also right across the bay right here. But yeah, not looking the best for the blue team. The blue team. And they still got, even with all that, they still have religious minorities, mainly this Halloween religion, which is actually probably slowly on the decline after the Halloween raid stopped. But yeah, so basically, blue team not looking good. So even though we just had a massive war last episode, like I said, still the stakes are high. Why am I just in my brain imagining just stakes, like, just someone, like, holding up a steak on a golden platter, like, the stakes are high, guys, like, literally, get it, because they're high stakes, I have no idea what joke I'm making up in my head, but yeah, so, not looking the best for the blue team, but, yeah, that's basically, actually, 2 wars in a row. Actually, most of my episodes have wars. It really just depends on how big the war is. Like, almost, because conflict is really just the most interesting thing. But, let's get on a little bit of Mexico team check. Don't want to leave them feeling isolated. So, so far, let's just say that this this bluish gray team leader, they kind of died, and they had like 5 sons. So they are gonna need to draw some hefty borders. So they got this son over here, probably second eldest, because the eldest takes the capital. And then they got this son, which kind of got the behind the capital region, which is probably the least valuable land. They actually probably also got this son, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count. And then I need more colors. There we go. Here, so this country's not looking the best. Kind of like split up to like a square grid. So yeah, 5 nations. This capital area is probably the oldest. This one's probably the second oldest, third oldest, 4th oldest, and then 5th oldest. The 5th oldest one got shafted, really. It really got shafted. But all these, I would say maybe the light green team had a death, but also their death just went back to like kind of color that they had before. So it's just like, oh, they died, but also like, oh yeah, I also made a map for this one. Just to, show, just to, show the different, religions. So I made a religion map. Which kind of just, but, yeah, not looking the best for them. So, yeah, this one's getting chatted. But also speaking on that one, we need more capitals. Because with this 70%, this is probably gonna need to come out at some point. I don't really need it yet. I could still manage size 5 for capitals. Yeah, also manage size 5 for capitals. But if they get any smaller, then they're almost definitely gonna need like size 3 capitals, like smaller capitals. So I'll make their capitals, including the yellow team, which I'm actually going to make them gold so you can actually see their capital. Which looks weird, but So yeah, Mexico, not looking the best, to be honest. But there technically hasn't been any wars. There's been a lot of, splitting. But there hasn't been any wars yet, so could be worse. But anyways, goodbye, my cabbages.